built this whole country, and
there would be no country without.
No.
And everything we utilize is done by a original woman, original man.
Everything
The
from
soles of our
yoga
shoes, the
to
toilet bowl,
everything
was created by us. And we utilize it every day, and we are so, like, nobody's not aware of it. They think it's someone else, but everyone, they create that, the helicopter, okay, that little light thing, it wasn't Thomas Edison, the little black thing, was what a black man did that.
He just
you know, say that's it, you know, so we have a part in the whole structure of building the planet Earth. And as you can see, we are the Earth, and knowledge of self makes us the greatest part as well with the babies, because we create the babies. You see, so at the end of the day, it's they have a part of us, they got a part of you, and this is what makes us bigger and greater than any nation. To me, I'm gonna give my nation all props. Bottom line, we are. It has saved. I know mathematics. I have 4 sons, and not one of them see the jail cell. Not one of them, and they are grown men to this day. And I'm gonna tell you why? Because of mathematics. The culture of the 5% nation all day. And that's what it was. And they are now walking and building their families and their lives and how they want to be out here building as being God, you know? So it's all about that. It's all about recognizing, even in the house, it's all you show is black art. It wasn't a white man's face on that wall. They got to see a reflection of themselves. But I get them confused. How you going to idolize something that's not part of you? Especially not when we made them up, you know what I'm saying? We created that, but that worst part. But at the end of the day, why are we going to do that? So they have to see a reflection of them. When it's that black woman, that black man with the strength, when, you know, art, sitting down there doing some here. Omi has beautiful art. It's all about them seeing a reflection of themselves so they know that's me. That's what I'm about.
Proud.
Yes,
the
that's
names,
grandma. That's
Mother
mommy,
Eye
that's
Equality.
daddy.
That's
You know
not
what
a
I'm
weird name to them. Wise Supreme. That's not a weird name to them. Hey Roo. That's not a weird name to them. Locks in Africa and what it means to be original. Not just learning about Africa. It's the space. It's beautiful.
To actually feel and interact with that energy.
Yes.
Like that's one of the main things that stirred me away from Christianity, because a lot of the books I was given, like the picture books, it was white people. You feel me? So my thing was, it was just like, where are we at? Are we just the sinners? You know what I'm saying?
That's how that's how somebody would think if they don't see a representation of themselves.
There you go. Exactly.
So like, I remember like the first school I ever worked at, like 2 years ago now, basically, I had told him that black people are the original people, but I was just building, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking this is already common knowledge, but he was like, I thought the white man came first. You know what I'm saying? So when he told me that, it's like, dang, it's like, even though I might be used to this idea of, you know, us being original, that's not common knowledge for today's youth. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, I have an aunt who lives in DC, and it's funny because she works at a predominantly white school, but she's very Afrocentric and she be showing me, like, she'll make the tie-dye shirts, and she would teach them about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. But she showed me like a collage she made them make with more recent black people. Like what's the lady who she won the Olympics, Simone Biles, like more recent people, because if you keep showing them just the old people, it's make it seem like we don't do nothing now. So I kind of thought about that too.
Yes.
I like that, you know.
Yeah, that's very, very
What is
good.
it now and then, right?
Yeah.
We have to
The
show
whole
prove it.
totality of
That's
everything.
right. That's right. Knowledge upon going back to knowledge all day. Let's add it to what? A cipher. We have to make it tangible. We have to re-show it over and over again. Get it in their mind. Let them think about. Don't forget about it. Because
It just has to be normalized, and it has to be a way of life as well. So what you are learning alongside, you know, how you are to conduct yourselves and everything in the home, what the parents are doing, it has to be in alignment with what we're doing here. Or it's a complete contradiction and a waste of their time and money. So those are real important meetings that we have to have initially, especially when we're bringing in new families, that they have to understand that philosophy.
Have you ever had like pushback from any other parents about certain other things that you guys promote or teach?
We have a recent pushback that maybe we shouldn't at this point consider it a pushback. But we do have like a family that is dealing with a new science, right? And this new science has taken them into the study of the indigenous people before the Europeans came, more like in the Olmec concept of America. So now and understanding changes in time, you know, so now their concept on what it means to be indigenous and original isn't African anymore. So, and that's okay. So now they're not really subscribing to this whole Pan-African or African-centered or what it means to be African of African descent. Because now we're just prioritizing it to one space, right? So we get it, you know, but we're still original. It doesn't matter. We circumvented the whole entire planet before it was recorded. So I get it, but we might not want the child to not think that she isn't still of African descent. You know what I mean? So we gotta also meet our families where they are in their understanding and what they're studying, because we're supposed to continue to study. It don't just stop at 120. 120 takes you into everything. So, you know, we respect that.
I was doing research on the origins of man, and basically was saying how.
I love that. There's a documentary. Did you watch it?
No. There's multiple. You know, it's not.
Oh. Okay, yeah, just period the concept of the origin of man.
Yeah, and basically it was saying how like all modern humans we descended from people in Africa.
Yeah,
you know
yeah, that's like scientifically
to,
proven at this point.
People who came to America, they came from Africa.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
When I was first getting knowledge, I was required to read a book called The 7 Daughters of Eve. So, you know, we talked about getting knowledge yourself later, and I got it later in life, so I had to do the whole new concept of fasting for the 3 days and doing all those things to build for, you know, my name and all those things. So I was required to read this book, 2 books I was required to read, Sedartha and The 7 Daughters of Eve. And when I tell you those 2 books opened up my eyes, The 7 Daughters of Eve, The 7 Continents, resorting back to Africa, everybody that's on them other continents, scientifically proven. Sedartha was about a Brahmin son, an Indian Brahmin who had a lot of money, and his son decided to go on his own journey to find his way in life. And he did all these things. He meditated, he stood in the rain, he begged for alms, all the different processes of being a Hindu, Buddhist, and finally realized at the end of the book that everything he was looking for was inside of himself. And that book was amazing for me. I recommend anybody who you're teaching and get, you know, that you have any students that you have, definitely.
I've actually read it, and I think I told him to read it too.
That's your education. Right. Wow.
It's funny because in the interview we did, you brought up Siddhartha as well.
Right, exactly.
Siddhartha.
It's funny, I learned about Siddhartha from reading Asada's book, and then when she had got shot and she was in the hospital, one of the nurses gave her that book. So I was like, all the books that the nurses gave her, she said was really intentional. So that made me think, hey, we should read those books as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just finished her biography.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. When I first came into, before I came out this stuff, I was just telling the God that the first book I completed, because I really wasn't a reader, you know what I'm saying? But the first book I completed was the autobiography of Malcolm X. And after I read that book, I knew I was destined to stand up for the black man, stand up for my black people, however way I did it. And then I sat there thinking about what I'm going to do, you know, because at Umineefa Earth, also I was in a Catholic family too, you know what I'm saying? So I was, you know, drinking the blood of Jesus, eating the body of Christ. You don't know that it's cannibalism. Like, why would you do that? But you get so brainwashed and caught up in it and beat, and I'm confessing my sins to a stranger. How he gonna save me and forgive me? So everything doesn't hit then because you're doing things according to your family saying to do it, and you're brainwashed and the technology is so bad, right? So I sat there and read the Malcolm X. I'm like, oh my goodness. This is it. This is what I gotta do. I gotta do this. So the first thing I thought, I wanted to be a Black Panther. So I was like, Dad, that's what I'm gonna be, a Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna follow inside. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Then I met my God. And then when I met the God, it was like, oh, that's my calling. That's where I belong. I belong right here, which is still what I manifested. I want to be part of. You know, so anybody can come to me, and I'm gonna still stand up and show that the black man's God, regardless of whom or what, and the black woman is the earth, and this is what we are. We are the queen. We acknowledge God, and then we become the earth once we bear that life. But at the end of the day, it matters. I'll stand up for y'all. I'll give my life for y'all. The black man all day, no hesitation. And that's what y'all here for. Y'all have a job to do. And y'all been bitten with many strikes for decades and years and centuries. And now, if we can save just a portion of y'all so y'all can go on and carry it on to the next generation, that's what we're going to do. We got to sacrifice ourselves, and that's the bottom line. But yeah, that's how, like, when I got knowledge of myself, the God told me who I was, it was over. There's nothing going back, never going back. And I don't like to hear brothers and sisters talk about, well, I did have knowledge before. How you had knowledge before, you can't forget that. Once you have knowledge before, you know the truth, that's what it is. Ain't no taking it back it's there. You need to build on it. You might get swayed up, but don't never come back and say, oh, I did once before. Nah, I don't want to hear that. Because once you know the truth, ain't no more turning back. You know who you are. You know who you are. Stop it. And stop being afraid of that. You know what I'm saying? Having knowledge yourself is very scary. And not everybody can deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to say, I think it's one thing to know it, but it's one thing to uphold the responsibility and accountability and everything else that comes with it.
That's
the good
right.
and the bad,
That's
you know?
right.
So
That's
I think sometimes it's like, some people are conscious of it, but like, nah, this, instead of saying this is not for me, they find some type of delusion for themselves to rationalize why it isn't right.
Yeah, true indeed.
Sometimes that delusion might be religion.
Right.
True indeed,
Like,
exactly.
after, before I had got knowledge of self, I had read The Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams. And
A blind man.
and it really was blind.
Yes, he
Wait, he was
was.
blind?
Yes, Chancellor Williams.
I didn't know that.
He traveled Africa blind?
He didn't, I don't think he even mentioned it in the book.
John Henry Clark was blind as well.
It was?
Yes.
That's my brother. But basically, it took me a while to finish that book because it's a heavy read. And I had
It
to,
is a heavy read.
while I was reading it, I had to, look up who he was talking about, what these countries or where it's at. Because it didn't make sense until I actually
Seen it.
and I did other research around that. You feel me? And after I read that book, I really thought to myself, dang, we really fought tooth and nail just to survive.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Just
saying?
for survival.
And this is on one continent. Not even talking about Australia, not talking about Asia, not talking about America. You feel me? Just on that one continent.
But one thing that stood out to me about that book was how, when he said something, a couple of things. One thing, he was one thing that's been consistent with black people is something within us to remain to fall in line with the actual principles of civilization. And not civilization as technology or modernization, but how you treat people. But he also kind of touched on that's why certain things were allowed to happen in this, because we're so easy to forgive and be merciful to people. And even when he talked about the African religions, he said a lot of it really was more, we use that word religion, but it was more like a way of life, because they lived out all these principles. It wasn't something like in the West world where how it's just you could say you believe whatever, but they just go around doing the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Yep.
What they call it, bigotry, they call it, what is the word they use, right?
Hypocrite?
Yeah.
Hypocrite,
Yeah,
yeah.
hypocrite.
Yeah.
Thank you, my love. Thank you.
I was thinking about
Go ahead, come back.
what you said
Yeah.
about having knowledge of self, and you not having knowledge of self anymore. The true knowledge of self is really being able to identify who you are. It's about an identity. So if you don't really understand and can't see yourself and how you are God, you really don't have the knowledge of yourself. Just like what it means to be the earth. I know I'm not a planet.
That's right.
And I know and understand my function and my duty. I know my connection. I know my symbolism. I know my position in my universe that I'm in. I know that I have a cycle every 28 to 31 days, just like the rotation around the us. I have all the 3/4 water, 75% water in my body. There's a lot of symbolism in that. So if you're not making that true connection with who you are and who you say you are, and able to not just understand it, but know it for yourself, you're missing the whole element. A lot of gods can't really see themselves as God because they can't really connect and identify with it. Maybe it's just a distorted, mixed, diluted way that you got the definition of God. You know what I'm saying? And who you are. Yeah. Maybe you feel that there's some other abilities that are outside being a human in regards to being God. But now when we really see, let's be practical.
Yeah.
And let's really have that true understanding of what it does mean to be the original man of the planet Earth. The word and what it requires. And it's a dramatic word. It's just a word. It's a word that means supreme being. So if you know you supreme, you know you first and foremost. You know you're original. If you a being, you know you a man. It's so simple. But people want to just make it so sensualized, if you will. And you don't even have to do
The
that.
whole point goes over their head.
Yeah.
So now you never really did have it. You never made the connection. Same with the women.
That's right.
A lot of times they don't want to let go of what they've been taught.
That's right.
It's like
Because they've been brainwashed.
And then they
Yeah.
go back to what they were taught later because they get scared
They get
and want that fire insurance and go get baptized in their 50s.
Right.
So right.
Y'all want to take a picture?
Yeah.
What's that?
This is
How you
beautiful.
gonna take a picture?
You must do your own research, as I did.
If Mega did this.